Hello and welcome. Today I'm bringing you a Force Master video from Blade and Soul. It's about Mushin's tower from the 1st to the 7th floor. I will be showing how I do it. The only exceptional piece of gear I use is the ring from Bloodshade Harbor 6, and maybe the gems I use. And maybe the Awakened Siren weapon, but most people have all of this already. In this case I am using completely normal Moonwater Arena soul shield. Like, there's absolutely nothing special about it. I have fused like light critical soul shields, which you get as normal drops in Baharan's 24-man version, a lot of them. So even the fusing in it is completely normal. I'm showing it just to, indicate how easy all of this is, and that you don't need anything special. Also, actually, I like having this defensive soul shield on the 7th floor, because it just means I can fail more and not be punished as hard for it, because, my soul shield gives me a lot of leeway. I'm not going to discuss my skill build, really. I only change it on the 7th floor a bit, and I will give a link in the description to both of the ones I use. But the main thing is that I spec the way I do, because this enables me to generate frost and fire orbs without having to cast any of the fury spells, so that I can use dual dragons without having to spend a lot of time for it. Anyways, on the 1st floor I picked the Kung Fu Master and the Blade Master because they are super easy to fight. I guess you could pick the Archer because you have a bubble ability which protects you from all ranged attacks. That would just make it super easy too. The only one I wouldn't recommend for most people is Force Master, although I easily did it against the Force Master too, so it wasn't an issue. And, well, essentially the rest of the build is a burn build. You just run around in circles and cast your 2 ability. That's it. In a few days I'll post a video about explaining why I picked what I picked in my skill build and go over it in detail. But it's safe to say that I have incredible trouble in dungeons in terms of losing aggro. Like, I always seem to hold aggro. I did Bloodshade Harbor yesterday, where my weapon completely broke. And on the last boss I used a cold iron bangle, which means that, it's completely the normal one, and for some reason I still got aggro and held it for quite a while at the end. So essentially this build seems pretty solid. On this boss you just need to not run too far away so he doesn't do his jump a lot. When he does his jump you can press the E or Q keys to jump behind him, or if it doesn't jump behind them, you will invincibility frame the attack. And the other thing is that when he spins, just stay outside of his range. And the reason why I keep running around is so that his square attacks like that one will always miss, essentially. And the basics of the build is that you spam the left and right mouse button, and when he has a burn stack you spam the 2 key. If he doesn't have a burn and has 5 ember stacks, you press the 1 key or the C or the X keys, and that's it. And sometimes you use Meteor when it's up, and when Dual Dragons is up you use that one. And that's all that you do with this complicated build. It really isn't that complicated. Essentially, everything until the 7th floor is super easy on this. Like, I have a super defensive soul shield, but nothing even gets anywhere close to getting into Enrage Timer. On this floor, what you need to do is not aggro the entire room at once. What I do is kill the ads while essentially ignoring the middle boss one, the one that keeps changing. Although I guess you could kill them, and when you have downtime, kill the ads that are in the room. But because, you know, the first boss is super easy, like if you run around, he does like nothing. I just keep firing my attacks at the other targets. I use the bubble ability not to defend against the ranged attacks, but because it gives me a 15% heal and it has like a 36-second cooldown. So essentially I am, you know, saving money on potions using that kind of stuff. Because 2 of those shields equal 1 potion. So, on the other hand, if I stand in it and a gunner shoots, I heal for 1% extra HP, so that's always a bonus. It's really nice against those gunner NPCs in Baharan's dungeon, the ones that use their rapid fire abilities, because that heals for like massive HP instantly. Because I'm fairly poor in this game, I really don't want to spend money on those potions. Yes, I have 640 of those, but that's because I bought a stack of 1000 potions at some point. Because I keep always tanking, it's kinda annoying. Anyways, the second one that spawns is the gunner guy. If you kill that one, the rest of the NPCs run away immediately. So I just go for that one. Like right now I have downtime. This is when you could kill the other NPCs. If you don't jump into the middle of the room immediately, the other NPCs do not aggro you, so that's what melee classes need to really do, is pull them like one at a time, unless they are tanky enough to kill all of them at once. I like killing the ranged ones because they are the ones that can deal damage to me. And the melee ones tend to die because the targeting system just targets them instead of the boss. So I just can't shoot past them. Okay, now the actual boss of this floor shows up, but he is still very easy. You do the same thing, you shoot him and run in circles. And nothing else, because he doesn't have range or anything like that. He isn't very scary. The reason why I like keeping this kind of a tight circle is mostly when I'm doing dungeons, we will have melee characters in there as well, who would have to run after the boss if I made large circles. On top of that, this way I can keep shooting all of my abilities all the time. Like, the only other abilities you could shoot while doing this kind of kiting would be, or if you did like less turning, would be the fury abilities, because once you use that you can turn around completely and they will still keep firing. The thing is that because I think the fury abilities are a DPS loss, I want to use my other abilities, so I have to keep doing those tight circles. Anyways, this floor is essentially you have to pick an ally to help you against this dark Jiangshi. You buy an HP pill from the NPC and then pick an ally to help you. But to be honest, I don't know what the allies do, and I don't really need it because the boss only has 700k HP, so it doesn't matter. Do the usual, run around in circles and just DPS it down. And when it does that huge AoE circle that catches you in it, you just double tap S and you are outside of it. And if that doesn't work for you most of the time, just press E or Q, which will also throw you outside, but it'll be on the other side of the boss. And the rest of it is running in circles. You could kill the ads, but I only target them when the game accidentally targets them because of the targeting system. I just like to target my dual dragon so it hits them as well sometimes, and that's essentially it. Because they don't pose enough of a threat for me to really focus them. But I guess you could kill them, it's not very hard. I keep using my bubble to heal up a little bit. so I don't have to use my potions. But if you're struggling, obviously use your potions. It'll help a lot. Actually, you can use both of them, so have double the healing. Well, I guess it's not quite double. More like 1.5 times. I noticed that the Awakened Siren proc is pretty good for focus regeneration, but it really isn't necessary. At least the one time when I tried with the Cold Iron Bangle on that boss run, I didn't have all that much trouble with my focus regeneration, so it's not that big of a deal. On top of that, you can always use C to regain it, and X on the cold one. That one also gives you quite a bit of focus regeneration. And you can also pop your 3 key for some additional focus regen. The thing is that if you're having trouble with not enough focus, you should always use abilities that hit many times, like Meteor, because those are very likely to proc abilities. Anyways, on this floor it just is a DPS fight, where the enemy has 700k HP without the teammate. It has an enrage timer, and I heard many people have trouble. The orbs on the ground with the circles are DPS boosts. They give you attack power and crit rate and stuff like that. The different orbs give different stats. But to be honest, they don't really matter that much. You don't need them absolutely to finish it. When the boss does that big pull on you, you just double tap S to jump out of it, and that's it. And the only other thing that'll be scary is the roll, but it doesn't deal that much damage here, so you can most likely ignore it, especially if you keep running in circles, because, well, the roll will miss you. They do throw rocks sometimes, which hit me for about 20% of my HP. I could use the bubble to defend against it, or use E or Q to iframe it, but most of the time I just don't care. I will use the bubble later to heal up. Because the boss really isn't that hard. And look, don't even see the enrage timer yet, and the boss is already almost dead. Only 2 of the orbs have popped up so far, so pretty easy. The next is the 6th floor, where you essentially fight one of the bosses of the big 4 blue dungeons at 45, you know, Dokumo, the Pigsty boss, Hokdani, the Azure Sage, or, you know, the jumper guy with the cold stuff, and one more, I can't remember right now. Anyways, you buy this pill for 2.5 silvers and you spin the wheel, and this time I got lucky and I got the fortune pig, which is, you know, an easy kill. The downside of this is that you don't get any loot for this floor, which is sad. But anyways, because this is a longer boss fight, you know, something you might not be used to, you might see some abilities you haven't seen from the Azure Sage. Essentially, he will pound the floor with the and do that, and you will get a prompt. Just press the Ice V button for Ice Sheath, and that will defend you. Anyways, here I change my build a little bit. I take out the 2 points in my Frost one and Impact one. I will make it so that I can chill the target, and that when the target is frozen, I will cast a stun with my Impact ability. And then it's just DPSing them down to about 50%, and then it's the scary part. When they resist damage, when they are below like 50% or so, you have to use your defensive ability. Either use the potion that this dungeon drops, which makes you immune to damage for a few seconds, or you use Ice Sheath, which will protect you, or you use your tab cold ability. The only other scary part so far is the cold stuff until then, just stay out of it. And if you can't stay out of the frozen parts on the ground, just use your Q or E ability to time it in a way that makes you iframe it. Here I use the C ability to regen HP. Here I do use potions because I definitely need it. And I DPS the boss. Okay, now when the boss starts resisting my hits when I shoot him, I had to use the V ability. Because otherwise that thing will knock me in the air and it will kill me from my current HP. But yeah, look at how much damage I've taken. This is why I actually like having the defensive soul shields here. Essentially, if you're really good, you can keep freezing the boss and use the stun ability. Look, he's resisting, and I will use the V ability. And now I am frozen. Here, when the freeze disappears, you should use your E or Q ability immediately afterwards to iframe the next attack when it comes, but I was a bit late, so that was unfortunate, but oh well. The thing with the swords that fly is that they are telegraphed and they will hit the place that was before, so they are never scary. And here I use my V ability again. It seems that Junghado's knock-up ability has the same cooldown as your V ability, more or less. Anyways, he will, in chat, you will see him saying Black Dragon Sword, Roar of the Dragon. That's also saying that he is going to use his scary ability, but I mean the main giveaway is the fact that he will resist all your spells for a bit, and that's when you just know you use your V ability. If you can't, then you can always use Tab. That will also heal some for yourself, but I like having it for emergencies. And sometimes you just fail the boss, just do it again after that. It's not a big deal. And I've done it a few times here already, so I mean, this pretty much works for me. Main thing is that the defensive soul shield helps a lot here, because you will take damage, a lot of it, so having a lot more defense is good enough. So anyways, if you enjoyed this video, then please subscribe, and thanks for watching.